This is JB Smoove, aka The Ruckus. You're watching Comedy Matters TV. Bring the ruckus!
I'm here at the Astral Theater with JB Smoove, man, or Leon Black, I should say, right?
LB in the building, aka JB Smoove, aka Leon Black in the building. HBO Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Absolutely,
Oh.
absolutely. You totally rocked the show tonight, man. It was great. You know, people love you, and I think it's such an interesting thing, the character that you built. Now, I'm going to talk to you as JB Smoove for a minute, then we could talk as Leon Black. But because everybody loves JB Smoove, what made you decide to do the show as Leon Black?
You know what? Leon Black is a phenomenon. People love this dude, and they quote this guy all the time. Everyone from all around the world, they quote this guy. I get text messages and tweets from London, Australia, Ireland, all over the world. You know, I get in first class, I'm flying somewhere, and someone will pull me by my shoulder and say, "Are you Leon Black?" I say, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, we love you around the office." Like, I know folks who actually quote Leon in business meetings. They tell people to go out there and bring the ruckus. Go out there and get in somebody's ass, you know what I mean? Go out there and do the dizzle. Go out there and do your thing. Go out there and that's how you do's it around here. You know what I mean? I appreciate that because it allows the character to grow, and it's expanded my demographics. You know what I mean? I can go anywhere in the country, anywhere in the world, and I'll have an audience. You know?
Absolutely, and even just the fact of the title of "This Is How I Do's It," nobody else can pull that off.
No one can do it. When you claim a title or a name for yourself, you have to stick up to that name and ride that name until your wheels come off. You know what I mean? And I say that's how I do it because it gives me leeway, and it gives me an excuse to do it how I would do it, and it doesn't give me an excuse to make an excuse for how I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Very creative, you know? Like, as a writer, I always appreciate that. To come out with something like, "This is how I do's it." I never heard anybody else say something like that. It's just, it strikes you. You know what I mean? It grabs a hold of you.
Right.
It grabs your attention. Did it take you a long time to come up with that title?
No, it didn't, man, because you know what? It came from the show. You know, it's something that I said, you know, and I think it's something to proclaim and to claim and lay and own. You know, I believe in owning something that's yours, that gives your identity as a character, as a person. And I say that, you know, as a character, as Leon would say, that's how I do it, but also say it as a person when I say that's how I do it, because I think it gives you some kind of a push. When you're doing business, when you're doing anything you want to do in this world, and you apply, when someone asks you a question, you know, why'd you do it this way? Well, why'd you do it that way? Why'd you do it? And you say, because that's how I do it. Sometimes that's the only answer you need. Sometimes
It says it all.
there's no excuse. There's no excuse around it. You say, because that's how I do it. That's how I wanted to do it, and that's how I do it, and that's the only way I know how to do it.
Now, when Larry asked you to be on Curb, was the character already developed, or did you bring life to the character? Like, how much of Leon Black was written, and how much did you bring to it as you developed it on the show?
You know what? Well, Larry told me, you know, he's a smart guy, man. He's one of the best. You know, he told me that he didn't know who Leon was until I came in the room. So, which is great because, you know, as everyone knows, the show is based in improv. So what happens when you're doing improv is you get a chance to learn a little bit about a character as you go along. So I give him a little bit of who this guy is and where he came from, a little at a time, little doses. So every time we do a scene together, you know, I find out something new about Larry, and Larry finds something new about Leon, which I find to be amazing because not only is Larry the character learning about me, and I'm learning about him, but our audience is learning a little bit more about Leon, a little bit more about Larry, and a little bit more about the relationship between Larry and Leon, which I find to be great because it allows the character to grow. It gives the character depth. It gives the character longevity. It gives the character some avenues to go down. So it's like that fork in the road when you're driving down the street and you don't know which way to go, but you know both ways are good. Yeah. Right? Both ways you got friends, both ways. One might be a little longer, a little curvier, but one might be straight and full speed, but no matter which way you go, you're gonna get there, right? You're gonna get there a crazy way, you're gonna run into more people, or maybe you don't wanna run into more people. Maybe you wanna run into one crazy person at the end of that straight one.
Well, it's that way in life in general. When you leave the theater tonight, if you walk this way or this way, your whole life is going to be different. And you can't dwell on that because it would drive you crazy. You just have to know that the way you go is the way you're supposed to go.
And you can still get there.
And
You can go that direction. It'll take you a lot longer to go around the whole world and come back over there to the back side of the hotel. But you can go this way, a short way. You might run into somebody here and there. But you go that way, oh man, that's some ride right there, man. That's some ride right there, right?
Now, is your background in improv originally?
You know what? The first thing I ever did when I started doing stand-up was, before I even stepped on a stand-up stage, I took an improv class at the old Improv in New York City before they shut it down. After that summer, I took it with Marty Friedman, I remember. Marty Friedman was a part of SCTV, right? I took that class with him, and as a matter of fact, he was amazing, man. You know, and I did that before I even stepped on stage. I wanted to find out who I wanted to be on stage and off stage, so I can constantly work on my craft of stand-up and acting. So,
but you were a rapper before. I remember the first time I met you up in here in Montreal a few years ago. We did an audio interview, not video, and I believe you told me, because I asked you, how'd you get the name JB Smoove? Didn't you tell me you were part of a group, like a rap group?
You know, I was part of a rap group. I didn't rap. I was one of the dancers, but it was cool because that also gave me a little bit of. I believe we are all pieces of a puzzle that end up making us who we are. So performing in front of people, dancing in front of people, creating dance stuff, choreography, all that kind of stuff plays a big part to me, in your stage presence, in your pace, in you listening, because all entertainment requires you listening also. To hear what's going on in the audience, so you can change gears and be able to give them what they want. You know, this show we did tonight requires me to listen as a host. Constantly listen to the audience. How hot. You can't
relax for a minute.
You can't relax for a minute. I got to listen to my guests. I got to listen to the decibels of the laughter, when it stops, how high it is. I got to be able to take that energy and use it as a resource, as like fuel, to keep the show going to a certain pace.
Well, it's interesting as a performer, though. You take a thing that you like and you repeat it a lot. I noticed that a lot of performers don't do. It's like you build up your energy by saying something over and over that you like. I see the enjoyment that you get from it, and it takes the audience to a much higher level.
You have to do that. I believe it's like, we're not singers. Singers have songs they do, and they could just and everybody knows their songs. But for us, sometimes, you know, I get a high out of saying something for the first time. You know, when I go on stage, I try to entertain myself as well as the audience. You know, so that way, when they're watching from afar, it's as though, you know, they're actually watching me have fun, so they can have fun.
Well, it seemed like most of this tonight was improv.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Most of this whole show is improv. The only thing that's not is, you know, all the guests do their set, and then once they sit down, it's a free-for-all. And we go from there, man. I find that to be fun. I find that to be great because every audience that's going to come this week to see the show is going to get a different experience.
Yeah, exactly. There's no two shows are going to be the same.
Right.
Just, how did you take the name JB Smoove? Would you tell me again? Because I love that story.
You know what? Like in that dancing crew, I was just J Smoove, and my partner was J Groove. And we would dance behind R&B groups, and behind rap groups. And what happened was, you know, when I started doing stand-up, I added the B, and I became JB Smoove.
That's awesome. You also host The Ruckus. Russell Simmons. Yeah, I mean, your career just blew up. Right. It's been good all along, but lately just everybody loves you. The Ruckus was amazing with DJ Cassidy, our mutual friend.
Right. It was a great show to be a part of. Russell Simmons is one of those people who, no matter what he's working on, he'll find a way to get me in there, and we'll just do it. You know, so I appreciate everyone who's part of the JB Smoove journey, everyone who's part of my steps, my footsteps. You know what I mean? These are all steps that I'm making. I put 150%, 20% to everything I do. I show up on time, and I do what I got to do and have a good time. I want y'all to keep supporting comedy, support JB Smoove, support the movement, the journey, and all that good stuff. Work with the damn universe to make this thing happen, and we'll have a good time bringing the ruckus. All right? Y'all be good. JB Smoove.
This is how he does it. So good to see you, brother.
Good to see you, brother.
Right, absolutely.